everybody was looking for. Glidey but stable. See, it stayed on that hyzer the whole time. Welcome back. Well, I should welcome myself back because I've been on a fantastic disc golf road trip here that I might tell you about. Maybe I'll make a video about my trip to the Masters and Vegas Challenge and kind of on more on my road to 500 feet. But before that, when I got home from it, I got home to a sweet package of something I've been wanting to try, and that is the new K1Grind from Castoplast. Their new recycled K1 plastic. Had about a couple of them. There was like 5 total that released, I think. I didn't get a Berg because I have too many Bergs, and the Alva, I believe, in a lot. So there might be 6, but I got 3 of them. The IDOG, we got the Falk, and we got a Guld. And I am super excited because first off, the IDOG has been absolutely one of my favorite fairway drivers of all time. If you can see, this IDOG has a tournament ace on it that got signed, and I just hit another ace like a day ago with it, and I even bought a backup, so I've got a fresh one. This is just straight up K1 in the white. This green one has been just absolute money fairway, like workhorse. Maybe the best fairway I've ever owned. I'm in love with the IDOG. So we got a regrind IDOG to compare to those two. And then I used to throw the Falk, and I threw the Saint a lot. I also picked up a Falk, and I really liked it. Threw a very similar to the Saint, very glidey, a little bit of flippy. This, interestingly, there was a lot of Reddit threads about it being one of the few discs that seemed to beat in to slightly more stable as it beat in. And I kind of had that feeling with this, although it spent some time at the bottom of a pond and I got it back. So I don't know if that holds true anymore. It's supposed to be a flippy disc, and I think with my arm speed these days, it probably will be. But we've got the K1Grind. The K1Grind is more domey. In fact, it's more domey in all 3 discs. Like the IDOG is a little bit more domey as well. And then we've also got a Guld, which I found to be an interesting disc. I got this the original run, you know, the early release mint first run. This thing is an absolute beefcake with no glide. It just, here at altitude, it goes nowhere. Even with my current arm speed, it is just a hog. And I picked up another one. I was like, wow, Castoplast finally made an overstable driver. Maybe the pros will love this thing. And then I picked up another one, and I heard rumors of like, whoa, no, the Guld is not good. It's really flippy. I picked up this one, and this thing is absolutely flippy. I might have thrown it, I threw it in a headwind. I might have rolled my wrist, I don't know. But it burned over like twice in a row for me. And I was like, wow, and I just basically have never thrown it again. So we got 2 Gulds to compare to this Guld. Interestingly, this thing is super domey. All 3 discs feel incredible. They still have the same K1 feel. Nice, gummy, but just enough stiffness. Really pop-top domey. And interestingly, this one has like a little dimple on the rim. I don't know if you can see it. Didn't notice it. I think it actually, I don't think it was there. I threw this a little bit the other day and I hit something. I don't know if that happened after I hit something, but it hasn't really affected the flight at all. But it's very pop-toppy compared to these other 2 Goulds. So we're gonna start with the Falks here. I'm at the lovely, if you can't tell by the background, that is the Flatirons. This is the lovely Harlow Park. This is hole 9. We're gonna do, there's 2 baskets. So I'm gonna start off with the IDOGs. We're gonna go short to the red pin. I believe it's like right around 300. Might be slightly less, 289 or something like that. And then we've got the other pin that's I think 350-ish after we're a little warmed up. So I'm gonna start with my baby, my ace disc, multi-ace disc, my absolute workhorse fairway, this K1 IDOG. If you check out my reviews, I've basically been bagging it ever since I did the 7-speed review because I love how this thing flies. It has a little tiny flip up, always seems to fade consistently, just seems to track on target almost never burns over, but it does have that tiny push, and it's really pushy for a 7-speed. They're very, very glidey for a 7-speed, but yet still seems controllable. So I don't know, maybe we'll add a third ace onto it. What do you think here? Let's see here. Beautiful. See that flip up, fade, sits, C1. Not bad. I could have gone a little wider. And now we'll go with a fresh one. Basically unthrown. I want to dye this one, so I picked up a white one. I haven't dyed a disc in a while. And I loved this disc so much, I was like, I need to get backups. So I'm finally at that stage where I'm like committing to discs and I'm gonna buy some backups. So, all right, I think the IDOG is gonna be my fairway for a long time here. All right, fresh K1 IDOG. A little bit of hyzer, just kind of holds the hyzer. Very solid, deep though. Wow, I kind of crushed that. Oops. I've been throwing really far. I've been a little up and down today. Man, I played 2 rounds yesterday, and I just played a tournament today where I was early releasing everything. But I just ate and relaxed, so maybe we'll have the juice back. All right, here is the K1Grind. See if it holds up stability-wise here. Ooh, very similar. Baby height, wow, that's even further. That thing feels glidier. Wow, that thing went, that's almost pin high to the yellow. All right, now we'll go the Falks. I didn't really check what the wind was. Look at those very slight crosswind, and those held hyzer. Didn't even really get flat. I think I put a heavy hyzer. Ever since I played in Vegas, I've been releasing everything on hyzer because I was hyzer flipping everything in Vegas. So it's kind of my thing now. Here, so this is my old beat up Falk. Let's see if we can't get a nice hyzer flip to this long basket here. Oh man, it just flipped up straight and it's super glidey. Wow, that is like pin high. It just kind of kept gliding. All right, let's try the K1Grind Falk. Fresh out of the box here. Oh my goodness. That was way, way hyzered and kind of an early release. That's what I was doing all day today earlier. But it felt way more stable. That was just kind of a terrible throw. But instead of switching tee pads, I'm actually just gonna throw to one's yellow basket and we'll see what we can do. Let's see if we can get a good rip here on the flippy Guld. I'm gonna try to get it flat and just kind of show you how flippy this thing is. Look at that drift, but very glidey, very pushy. Pretty close to that. I'm not sure how far that yellow basket on hole 1 is, but that's probably 20, 30 feet deep of this pin. So, you know, a solid 385 or something. Maybe a little further, I don't know. All right, I already know that the other mint one is beefy. All right, I'll throw that one. Try to get it flat on the same line and you'll see. This thing is just an absolute no glide hog. Yep, just starts hyzering immediately and gets to the ground. And short, like I just can't get it to go anywhere. Could be a great disc for, I actually kind of could have used that in Vegas, to be honest, on the windy days. All right, here's the K1Grind. This one feels really good. I'm hoping it's kind of in between those somewhere. It might be the Guld that everybody was looking for. Woo! Glidey but stable. You see, it stayed on that hyzer the whole time, but still got like way deep. That was pretty solid. I don't hate it. Other than that Falk, that throw sucked, but those are really nice. They have the same feel and finish of any of them so far. Maybe very slight differences, like the Falk, first impressions, it seems a little more stable than a normal Falk right out of the box. The IDOG seems a little glidier and maybe a touch straighter. We'll find out. And the Guld seems about right. I mean, it seems like finally about the numbers. Where it's actually like a true 13 speed with a touch of turn but a lot of fade. Not like that other one. And this is like basically a slight tailwind, or very slight tail cross. And you saw the yellow one just still kind of flip. So, okay, other than this Falk that I really threw terribly, Beef Boy didn't even get 350. The IDOGs were very solid. Actually, the white one went farther, so we'll have to see. Test it a little bit more. But like I said, 7 speeds, 9 speed drivers both went a little further. Pretty solid and pretty consistent so far. We actually have a headwind back. What I might do, since we have a headwind, I'm gonna throw to the red basket out there. I don't know how far it is. We play this in tags sometimes, and it's like 500 something feet from the tee. That's about 150 behind me. All right, yeah, and I used to play tags out here all the time. And so a lot of times your thing was to chip around this tree and then throw this second shot. From here, it's probably, man, that looks pretty far. And that's also in, I think, the farther location. So this might be like 380, 390 up, slightly uphill. But we'll give these a test. Those should be straight into the headwind. We'll see if there's any difference in the stability. And I'm gonna try to clean up my form just a little bit. I have noticed that, like, when I get tired, I start kind of reverting to my old form. I take too big of a step. I try too hard with my arm. And it may not look that different on film, but I can feel it, and it feels sloppy. So, make sure I'm lined up here. Yeah, I think the headwind, this should be like a direct headwind. It's pretty light, like maybe, it's slightly crossed, but should be a good test to see how these hold up. All right, we'll go with my baby. I'm gonna try to get this IDOG flat, and you can see how kind of reliable it is. Yep, just flip up, straight, and really, really solid. That throw felt okay. All right, here's the normal K1 IDOG. Oh, little nose up. But pretty similar. That was just a little more nose up. All right, we'll try the regrind here. K1Grind, not regrind, but it technically is a regrind. All right, there I got a little more power, but look, it flip up, hold, and wow, that actually got some distance. I pulled that a little more online, which is what I wanted to do. It doesn't really seem that less stable, but it does seem like a little bit more like glidey, because it is a little more domey. But it feels really great. We'll see how these Falks hold up. There you can kind of see how under stability of it. But look at that gentle fade. Wow, that is solid. I forgot how good these Falks are. If I can do that again here with the K1Grind. Oh, a little early, but nice flip up, but that's definitely more stable. That wasn't as good of a throw. It is definitely more stable though. That is really interesting. That is pretty interesting. All right, here is the Guld. Just a touch nose up. Didn't really flip. That's kind of surprising. That wasn't a great throw. It was a little nose up. All right, try the K1Grind Guld. Oh, that was a much flatter, better throw. And it's right with the one that was nose up. That thing feels really nice. Nice, stable, glidey driver. And here's the mint cake, beefcake. Look at that. I can Annie it. And it's just gonna fight out. Oh, I got it close. Hey, I grouped all three of those. That's not bad. All right, kind of wonky throwing on a side hill. Trying to throw up the hill. Really only didn't pull. I meant to kind of pull all of them up into the hill a little bit and just didn't really. Ended up just kind of early hyzering them with the slope of the hill. That's something you got to remind yourself of. Like, it's a lot like golf where the slope of your lie and your run up and everything really affects how your release is. Like, side slopes tend to kind of pull you the direction of the slope a little bit. So you kind of have to adjust to it, kind of change your walk up into the hill a little bit or pull a little to the right of where you want. So, but pretty solid. Not bad. Other than the IDOG that I like mushed straight. Now look at the Goulds. All right, the Goulds are all grouped. This IDOG's pretty consistent. We'll try them on forehands. I don't really forehand them much, but I'm trying to think of where I can throw these. All right. Yeah, that Falk is very glidey. It wasn't a good throw, but it's way more stable than the other one. We'll do a quick forehand test here and just kind of see how these handle a little bit of torque. My forehand's pretty torquey, so I don't really, as good as these are, I don't forehand them a whole lot because they're not like super overstable and torque resistant. And if I'm not clean with them, they will burn a little bit. So I'm gonna try to throw these nice and clean. I'm not gonna get to these baskets, they're too far for my forehand, but I'm just gonna kind of throw these at the hill toward the basket, at least I have something to aim at, and see if I can't get them clean. Just a little torque, but see it fight out, not bad. Yeah, similar, a little bit better. Oh, and I got close actually. That's actually not bad. Well, let's try the regrind. I'm trying to just get nice, clean, flat, snappy follow through. Ooh, that was nice. Look at that little, that had a little extra spin on it, I think, and it just kind of held straight, but it was fighting out slowly. Pretty good. Like, they're not bad for forehand, especially if you don't have a strong forehand like me. You can get a little bit of turn as long as you just don't chop them or torque them too much. I don't know if I'll be able to do the same with this Falk, but we'll try. Here goes the old Falk. Actually, I'll probably try to slight hyzer flip this guy. Ooh, I did it. Look at that. Oh, and I got close. Okay. Okay. Maybe my... What did Eagle say? Like, practice with flippy discs and not torque resistant discs if you want to get smoother. And I have been doing that a lot. come tournament time though, I usually just take something pretty stable and just kind of try to get a nice, smooth, flat. I'll try that same thing with this regrind Falk here. Oh my gosh, it's so much more stable. I think I over-hyzered it a little bit. Okay, that Falk is wild. Like I think I can treat that more. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Bonanza Sphinxes. It's a flippy disc that's kind of domey and more stable out of the box. So I think I can kind of mush on it. All right, we'll do the Goulds next. Oh, that was not good. Nose up hyzer on that guy. All right. Try this regrind Gould here. This thing's pretty stable, so I think I can kind of trust it. Just maybe a baby anhyzer and try to be clean. Yes. Oh, that's so good. Parked it. Let's go. That thing is really nice. I like that Gould a lot. That might go in the bag. Actually, all these might go in the bag. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna retire my green boy yet. Poison green IDOG. This guy, probably not. Unless I'm like at sea level. All right, this one I'm gonna chop. I'm gonna chop it a little bit. Oh yeah. But look how dumpy it is. God, it fought out of the chop and then just gets to the ground. It's so bad. It's a fun disc. Like, I think that's kind of what the pros probably wanted out of the Gould, like a very stable 13 speed. For big arms, that minty one. Like, any of you Castoplast pros ever see this, and you need a stable Gould, hit me up, I got one. That thing is beefcake. But the K1Grind might be the Gould that kind of like the majority of players have been looking for. This is that altitude, but it feels like very normal Star Destroyer stability to me. Like, this feels a touch more stable than maybe my Chargers by like a tiny bit. The rim does not feel that big in the hand, so it doesn't feel like a chunky 13 speed. These are all pretty good. I'm actually kind of impressed with my forehands there. All right, we're gonna go to the top of the world and we're gonna give them the beans and just see how they fly. And then we're gonna call this quick preview to a close. All right, this is my favorite hole in all of Colorado. I'm gonna show you the view real quick. See out to the mountains. When the clouds aren't there, you can see Long's Peak back there. And we got the Flatirons behind us. But this is hole 3 at Harlow. Just a blast of a hole. Obviously we're way up above, and that yellow basket way out there is, I think, at like 405. I think. I can't remember, but yeah, it's about 400. But this was like the first basket at 400 I could reach because of the downhill. And then since then, like, man, depending on the wind, you can throw over the road, you can throw big turnovers. And then in tags, we started playing to the red basket, even far beyond that. It's actually 4's red basket, which is pretty cool. But we're gonna empty the bag on this and we're gonna call it a day for a quick preview. I don't wanna throw much more today. I have another tournament around tomorrow and I'm pretty worn out. But we're gonna give these all a nice, good clean mash and see how they fly with a lot of airspace. We got our little air indicator. I don't know if you can see it on top of the sign over there. Got a little flag. It's very slight headwind. I used to not be able to reach this. I had to throw like a driver. Now I actually love throwing like kind of like a T-bird control driver. I could go straight down the lane. I still kind of like to hang it over the road. With a 7-speed, I may just hang it just around the tips of the tree line and try to nestle in here. Go with my IDOG here. Oh, that's so good. Oh, lift. No, don't lift. Oh, that lift was tragic. That's the only bad thing, this whole slope. And so like, if you don't go wide enough, you almost always go way, way down there. That's so tragic. That air bounce was unkind. That was tracking. The wind did not want me to add another ace to that. All right, we'll go with the white one. I'm gonna swing it a little wider, I think, just because of the hill. I'm gonna try to go around the other side of those trees. But I think that first IDOG is pin high. Oh, that felt like my form. And into the headwind, I can still trust it. And look at that, pin high, just above it. That's my favorite shot, is trusting it over the road. All right, sometimes I've been kind of playing with like, if I feel like my timing is a little off with my arm, like if I'm over arming it or something, sometimes I'll speed up my feet or sometimes I'll slow it down. I kind of went through a phase where I was going really slow, trying to get a good brace, and I was throwing great, but then it felt weird. And so I started going really fast and it felt great. And then I kind of settled in this medium thing. And it kind of just depends on how my body's feeling and how my timing is feeling. But for you out there, it might be a way that you can adjust sometimes if your timing's off. All right, IDOG number 2 or 3, regrind IDOG. Oh, that's a little high. I kind of slipped a little. I didn't trust my brace. Didn't really get through on it. Yep, I kind of sped up my feet and then was just garbage. All right. Well, we got one good flight and a terrible air bounce. All right, here's the Falks. I don't think I can trust this guy over the road with a headwind. So I'm gonna do the fun shot with this Falk. We're gonna go for the turnover line here. Honestly, when the road is OB and there's wind, a lot of times this is the funner, safer play. Oh, too much angle. Dang it. It's too flippy. That needed to be a little flatter. All right. This one though, I'm gonna trust. I don't wanna try to turn it over. I wanna just give it the beans and throw it out there. Let's see how it does. Because I haven't thrown it good yet. And this is the best looking one. Look at this shatter. They even got like shatter labels on these regrinds. Everybody's doing Halo. Cast Plus finally did it. All right, Falk, let's see what you got. Oh boy. Oh, it's a Falk. Okay. When you give it the beans in a headwind, it's a Falk. I mean, it didn't really burn over. It just stayed dead straight forever. Whoops. Whoopsies. Should have given it a little hyzer. I was like, I kept giving it over hyzer. I finally threw it flat. And I mushed it into the headwind. All right. Now I'm just gonna mash this. I'm not really going for the basket with this one. We're gonna maybe try to get to the red one here, just for funsies. See how far we can push the Guld, the flippy one first. Oh, it didn't turn. Okay, it's not that flippy. All right, that disc is confusing me. I feel like that should have, oh, no, look at the wind. It turned into a crosswind. Got to check your wind indicators, man. Yeah, I wonder why that didn't turn, because the wind got under the plate probably. That is a bummer. All right, here is the regrind Guld. It's stable. Way down there. It's pretty stable. All right. These flights aren't that good. I'm too tired. I'm not bracing well. I'm not really getting into them anymore. Let's throw Beef Boy over the road into the crosswind. We could park the yellow for funds. Now we're going to play in the road skip. Pew! And right around the pin. That's how you do it with an overstable disc. Oh, you couldn't see the curl. The tree was probably in the way. It literally skipped. It curled around the base. I think it's at like 5 feet. All right, that was fun. I love this shot. All right, I think that's enough for me. Gotta rest. There's the Guld off the sidewad skip. There is one of the IDOGs that was perfect. The other two IDOGs, pretty solid. Kind of threw them nose up. And same with the other Goulds. Just kind of caught the hill and the crosswind. Never really got them correctly. All right, there you go. There's a quick preview of the K1Grind. Honestly, first impressions, it feels incredible. Like I said, K1's still probably the best plastic in the game. I like Grand and a few others, but nothing feels quite like K1. If anything, the grind feels just a touch softer. Just a little bit softer. Not quite K1 soft, but kind of right in between K1 soft and straight up K1. But similar texture, gummy. The finish feels really good. Like not any flashing, and it feels smooth. The rims, inside of the rims, just feel fantastic. This thing, the Falk, just skidded across the road. Can't really even feel it. I mean, these things I think will hold up just as well as any normal K1. And we've seen the Guld quite stable. Actually might be better than most of the K1 runs that I've seen before. So really solid. The Falk seems more stable, but it's still like once I got out under power, it's definitely a Falk. It has a lot of turn and a lot of straight, and I think it will beat in to be just a great, fantastic 9-speed. And the IDOG felt pretty good, maybe just a touch glidier. Like I said, all these are a little domier than their counterparts. So that's a quick review, a quick look at it. Love the plastic, and to have a little tiny bit cheaper runs of Castplast, can't be mad. All right, we'll see you. That's enough throwing for me today. See you in the next one. Peace.